What's up, everybody? It's your boy JPZ back with you with another video. Right now, I'm kind of having a good day. It's my day off, so obviously I'm feeling good, feeling great, feeling Gucci. You know, went to the gym, read a book. You know, I'm feeling all enlightened and all that. But I figured I'd take some time because it's been a minute. Give you a little story time since I've been out here while deployed. And we'll call this one, We Lost the General. I know y'all. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So basically what had happened is we have this thing called Distinguished Visitors. I don't know what it's called DV though, Delta Victor. And basically it means you got some top brass, you got somebody important on your plane, and they gotta go somewhere. And you know, we're a cargo plane, so we move people and cargo to where they need to go. That's just what we do. Airlift, tactical airlift, combat airlift, C-130s all day, baby. It's what we do. So anyway, it's cool, right? He's got the whole squad. He's got his handlers. He's a one-star, which is just a brigadier general, which sounds fancy, but you know, it's a little lower. But anyway, he's a general. He's got a star on his chest, so basically, like, you know, he's got people doing this thing for him. He's got a squad. So we take off from our base and carry some stuff over to the same place where he's gonna be at. So like we're meeting him somewhere. Like he's coming in on the choppers, we're coming in on the C-130, we're meeting up at the same spot. He's gonna come over to our plane, we're gonna take him where he needs to go. Mission's gonna get done. It's because we got a bunch of stops, right? This is gonna be an easy day. You know, it's the first step of many steps of the day. So anyway, first step's done. We're at the airport waiting on him. He comes in. We're set up, ready to go. Hey, what's going on, sir? What's good? We got our cargo and everything from that airport because we got to do some other stuff. Like I said, it's busy. Then one of my jobs is as a load master. I have to safety brief the packs, right? You know, in case of emergency. Here's the exits. Here's the oxygen. Here's this and that. Here's the signals to look out for. Basically, it's like just like a commercial airline, but it's my job to make sure that you're safe, and I keep you safe the whole time. So I do my little spiel. I'm a little nervous because you know it's some higher O's and you got a general and everything. But you know I keep it together because you know your boy JP. This is my job. It's what I do. This is what I do, baby. So at the end of the brief, I'm like, hey, any questions, comments, or concerns, anything? And yeah, the general raises his hand. I'm like, okay, all right, take it easy. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he was like, yeah, you said we were going to destination A, but we're not going there. We're going to another place. And you know, we call destinations different things around here. So you know, it might be an airport code, might be some code name we have for or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm sure it's not a concern or a problem, but just let me verify that with my navigator real quick. So I go over and I'm like, hey, yo, is this name the same as this name? Basically, because I was thinking that what we were calling it was something different from what he was calling it, but it was the same thing. That was my concern. And I figured it was just semantics. She was like, no, that's a completely different airfield. I'm like, oh. And by then there's this captain, right? And I don't know. I feel like maybe this was like her first gig. Like, hey, you're finally gonna handle the general schedule. You know, you got to make sure we're manifesting. You got to make sure the schedule's on point. Boom, boom, boom. So I felt like she was dealing with a lot of stress. This is her first like time out of the gate, and it was not foreshadowing. It was not gonna go well. So basically, I tell her, I'm like, yeah, ma'am. So they our ops, you know, what we were tracking is a different LZ from where you guys are supposed to be going. And you know, in my little Pringle can, you know, I'm thinking, what's the big deal? We'll just go somewhere else. But no, it doesn't work like that. So basically, you know, we start calling our ops like, hey, what's going on? We're supposed to be going. They're saying they're going to a different LZ. The captain, like the handler team, is like getting frantic. The general's cool, mind you. Like the whole time he's just kind of doing his thing. He's like, well, just figure it out, you know. Which I like that mentality. I wish I could just kind of shoot people off to just solve it, you know, because you're like doing leadership by empowering other people, but you're not really doing anything. So it's like the ultimate hustle. But anyway, handlers were getting kind of antsy, especially that one captain. She's like, her brain's about to explode. So we're like, hey, no big deal. we have some concerns, but we can resolve them. Sorry, there's flies everywhere. So basically, the problem is we can go to the other LZ, but based on the amount of fuel that we had just taken on, we can't safely land there. So we have to find a way to get rid of this fuel that we just put on, so we can safely land at the LZ you guys want to go to. And so we're like, bet. This other airport, you can defuel. So there's two options. You can either drone around, burning fuel, so you can be light enough to land at the destination they want to go to, or you can go to this other airport and they'll be able to defuel you. You know, just suck it out like like old school jacking gas from other people with the garden hose, except a little more advanced and a lot safer. But anyway, you could do that, be down to the proper weight, and then go to the destination. Bing, bang, boom. And so at this point, she's freaking out. The captain, she's freaking out because she's trying to maintain the timeline, right? Every time, every minute, every second, every hour that we spend where we were at, not going anywhere, not moving towards the final destination, the general's missing out on meetings and, like, I guess visits he's supposed to do, because his schedule don't stop. He's the brigadier, baby. He's the BG. You know what I'm saying? So we finally, you'll find in the military, as well as just other systems of levels. There's levels to this thing. So nothing happens as instantly as you would like, but eventually it gets done, right? But that reality does not comfort the captain handler, because she needs things to be done, and she's looking at me like I fly the plane. I'm like, hey, I don't fly the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I definitely don't make decisions of when the plane can go, where it can go, when it can go. I just kind of let you know what's going on as it's happening. And I'm not the best resource for you, but I'm kind of like a liaison. So but she's looking at me like, start the plane. Why aren't we starting? And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know. Like, he calls us like, hey man, we need to figure this out, because she's shooting daggers through my soul right now, and I'm a little scared. Anyway, mind you, the whole time the general's just cool, man. He's just chilling, working it out. Basically, long story short, actually it'll be a little longer than that because I like to ramble. We ended up going to the next place. We're like, hey, we're just gonna defuel at this other destination, get down to our lower fuel, our lower weight, and get to the final destination, right? Cool. So we get there, and they were like, yeah, we don't defuel here. It's so. And I don't know how it came back to me all the time. It kept coming back to me to have to tell the captain lady, who would tell her team, like all the bad news. And she was like, I swear by the end of it, she thought that I was just orchestrating the whole thing, like just making her whole life miserable, because if she wasn't fired before, today, golly, it wasn't anything her fault. None of it was her fault, but then it is your fault. That's kind of how it goes. It's like everything's out of your hands, but it's all in your hands. It's kind of messed up, but it's the way it goes. It's complicated. So then at that point, once we realized that we couldn't defuel, we had it's called a fasting, which is like security forces on there. Basically, they kind of come with the whole package with like the top brass and all that stuff on these kind of missions. So anyway, we're kind of hanging out at the next destination. We're trying to figure out if we're just going to go if we can burn enough fuel to get to the final where the general's trying to go. And then, so once again, we're doing this rat race. Hey, what's Ops doing? What's their team doing? What's their schedule looking like? At this point, the lieutenant colonel has become the go-to for the general's team. So like the captain, I guess, she kind of had a little mental breakdown. She was all right. Anyway, he's like, I'm gonna get this done. And so we're about to leave, because we decide, hey, we'll just drone. By the time we get close to the destination, we'll have the fuel finally burned off coming from the previous stop, our current stop. We'll be able to land, and then it'll all be good. And this 30-minute, this hour-long, supposed to be hour-long leg will finally be done. Because right now we're like on hour 4 or 5. I don't know. It was dragging on. So anyway, but while we're ready to take off, after we decide we can burn up fuel en route to the final destination, the fast team member is like, one guy just like, oh, I'm gonna get off and go to the bathroom, which is fine, just let somebody know though, because we don't know what the schedule's like, and we're trying to get these people out of here because they're sick of us. Because we are not helping them. It was not our A day that day. But anyway, so we're like, hey, talking to the other fast guy, the other security forces dude. We're like, hey, where's your boy? We're ready to go. And he's like, oh, he went inside. I'm like, did he tell anybody? And he was like, yeah, he told me. I was like, did you not think to tell us? Like, So anyway, I said, hey, go get him because we're trying to start engines or whatever. And I kid you not, he goes into the building, like the little rest stop area, into the building. His buddy comes out, and I'm like, hey, he just went in, go get him. So he goes in, his buddy comes out. I'm like, what's happening? The captain, she can still see all this. She's once again thinking that, it's all my fault. Like, I'm just letting people run crazy outside the airplane. And so I run over there, and I'm like, hey, come on. Like, just gotta, like, I'm yelling at my kids. I want to just drag them all back to the plane. But anyway, we get them back on the plane. We finally get to the destination. And I kid you not, we do an ERO, which is basically like engine running offload. So engine's still going, it's fast move. So you open up the ramp door, throw off everything, throw on whatever, and you get out of there. So we go, we land. And like then I think the lieutenant colonel said something to the front end. He was like, good job, guys. You got it done. Because it was complicated. It was everything out of, everybody on that plane, it wasn't their fault. It was like circumstance or whatever. For whatever reason, things kind of got confusing. Destinations got mixed up. And we were resolving the problem. We're doing our best to resolve the problem safely and legally. And at the end of the day, he was like, good job, crew. You got it done. But man, everybody else just left. They didn't even give us a high five, a good job. They didn't. That captain probably wanted to karate chop in my neck, man. But oh gosh, the general got to where he needed to go. Now, the funny part about it was that was supposed to be the second stop, and we had like 3 more, man. But it ended up being just the only thing we did the rest. It was the only thing we did the rest of the day. But we got it done because the general was lost, kinda, and it was our fault. But we found him, and we took him where he's supposed to go because we're great. The world's greatest airports. But on a more positive note, less sarcastic note, it was a cool opportunity for everybody to kind of work together, solve the problem, figure out what the issue was. And I kind of saved the day because, we would have had my man at a different destination, a different LZ. And, that's no bueno, like that's a lot worse. Like dropping somebody off and leaving and that be the wrong spot. That's a lot worse than, taking 5 hours to get him to where he was supposed to be. So kudos to me for asking for questions. I'll always ask. I always verify with everybody now, hey, you're going to so-and-so, right? And because I've learned it can be painful if if there's some confusion there. And then on the other note, it was great to see everybody work together to figure out the problem and to get the mission done. So that was our little story on losing the general and finding him back where he was supposed to be. All right, that's it. Bye.